So this is a few little clips of a rundown of the song The Last Time by Cammi. For this song, we wanted it to be really raw and honest because that is what the lyrical content is. It's super raw, it's reflective, it's emotional. It's about letting someone go finally and realizing that they're in the past sort of thing. So we really wanted the production to reflect that, and we didn't overproduce it. We made the drum sounds really big and raw, but also like, you know, big sounding, like arena drums sort of thing. It is a ballad. So yeah, we just wanted that real honest rock song sort of production. Clean acoustic guitars, the electric guitars, they're distorted, but they're crunchy, but they're not like ridiculously in your face. There's a beautiful piano in there. There's some strings towards the end of the song. There's a lot of backing vocals purely to bolster the emotive like presence of the vocals. And yeah, like a crunchy bass tone, but everything's just full, clean, right there. Anyway, so let's get into it. I would love to show you the drum sounds on this record. So I'll just play some of the drums here. So you can tell like it's very much, you know, a rock drum kit. Some really solid drumming on this record by Yuri. Just really rock solid. You can see there's a lot going on here with the drums. A few different reverbs as well. 2 snare reverbs to give it a really big open sound. And yeah, so I'll just take you through what's going on. This is always my first plug-in for drums. I use it as a bit of parallel compression. You can see I've got the threshold all the way down. The thing I love about this mastering compressor is it's got a few different things that it responds to. The timing here is the main factor, like how quick the attack and release are. There's an extra release module here, so you can play with the release aside from this initial timing setting. And then this peak and fast, they're extra compression modules that are added in that make the compressor respond in different ways. So it's really cool. You've got a lot of control over it. I usually put the ratio between 2 and 10 and then crank the mix and then kind of see where I like it and then back the mix off. So you can get some really nice pumping effects. I'll show you what it sounds like when the mix is on full. So when I've got it set like that, it's really easy to see how these settings are affecting the compressor. And then I just back it off to where it feels nice. So there you go. It's sitting at around 27-ish%. And then, yeah, I also use the sidechain filter to tell the compressor which areas of the drums I want it to respond to. Really, really great plugin for parallel compression, but just overall general compression. It's fantastic, but I love it on drums. Then I've got some EQ, a bit of dynamic EQ, some more EQ through this SSL because it gives a little bit of extra character. And then the brand new Canvas Audio Cactus Clipper. This thing's a beast. Just taming a lot of those peaks of the transients from getting through and giving me some extra level at the end there. So that's the drum group. That's what I always like to shape the sound of the overall drum kit with, and then, you know, going through the individual tracks to get them each to sound mint. I'd also love to show you my instrument bus. So in all my mixes, I set up an instrument bus to process all of the instruments together and get them to glue together. And so on this track, we've got the Bettermaker compressor. Then I also like to use the Waves IDX. It's intelligent dynamics. So the way I like to use it is as an overall mix bus compressor, and it adjusts based on what frequencies are, peaking at the time, not peaking, but, coming through the mix at the time. Then again, Gullfoss is a similar thing. I'm pretty heavy-handed on this one. And then again, the Cactus clipper to contain some of those peaks in the overall level, so I can get more loudness out of the track. So I'll go through one by one and add them in so you can hear exactly what that's doing. So you can hear as soon as I add in the Bettermaker, it just squashes the track together a little bit, brings out a lot of the guitars. The IDX has given me a lot of shape to the song. I'll do that again, off and on. It's just kind of making those drums have a lot of impact. Gullfoss here. I noticed that brings the acoustic guitars out a lot, as well as the sheen of the drum kit. A lot of the cymbals like brighten up and sound really pretty. Weird way to talk about drums, but pretty is how I think of it when the, the shine of the cymbals comes through, and the clipper here. The thing I love about clippers is they don't appear to like ruin the transients of the drum, but they're just containing a lot of those peaks. And the great thing about this canvas Cactus clipper is you've got a little bit of tone shaping going on. You can choose to drive it a little bit as well and get some crunch out of it. For this song, I wanted a really like, organic sounding drum kit. I didn't want it too over processed. But this knee setting here as well will give you some shaping, whether you want it to really hit hard or be a bit softer on your transients. So you want to play with that knee knob there. And yeah, I've got oversampling turned on just in case there was any aliasing happening because of the clipping distortion effect. But yeah, I love that. It's really transparent and just like gives you a little bit extra level in the overall track. So fantastic plugin. So I played bass on this song, and I chose to play it with my fingers because I think for a song like this, the roundness of, when you're playing fingerstyle bass, you are adding a lot more body to the song, and I wanted that fullness in this track. So let's just have a listen to the bass here, and I will go through the chain. So it's pretty raw. It's pretty intense. I just used my Fender Jazz. This is what it sounded like raw through the Avalon preamp. So I'm kind of thumping it towards the end of the song here. First of all, in the chain, we've got Satin. You can hear some of the saturation going on. I'm not really changing the overall tone of the bass, but I'm giving it a lot more character and, adding some harmonics in to get it to cut through the mix a bit better. So next we've got YALA by Analog Obsession. All the Analog Obsession plugins are free. You can obviously donate to them if you have, if you want to be generous and, pay them back for the work that they do. This is like a LA2A style compressor, which is always quite nice on bass because it adds a bit of a roundness and a fullness to it. Let's see what this sounds like before and after. I've got it on the cool thing about this is that even though it's an LA2A style compressor, you can choose how fast you want the release to be. And I've got this cranked all the way as fast as it can be so that it's containing the bass. And yeah, it's attacking the transients, but not in a really aggressive way. It's not a super fast compressor. So yeah, that's why it adds that fullness into the bass. Next, I've just got some dynamic EQ. Just taking care of a lot of that like finger attack stuff. Then I've just got some multiband going on here. So this is a technique I use on bass quite a bit because I want the body of the subs and stuff, but I don't want it to like be too intense where it hits the speakers too much sort of thing. So I compress the shit out of it. I'm only using a 1.6 to 1 ratio, but because I've got the threshold so low, you can see how much gain reduction I'm doing on that. It's down to like minus 20 decibels of reduction. And then I just boost the gain of it. And a similar thing with the low mids here, but the threshold's just touching it. So I'm just giving a little bit more like low mid attention. So that's it for the bass track. Something that I think is really cool on this song is the distorted guitar sound. So pretty much the whole way through the song, the guitars are distorted. But because of the kind of arpeggiating that Joel is doing is allowing the distortion to not be too overwhelming, apart from when he's strumming, of course, but you hear a lot of the information of the song here. So I'll just play it for you and show you exactly what I mean. So you see what I mean? Like it's distorted, but because he's arpeggiating, you can hear each individual thing going on. But a cool thing that happens towards the end is these secondary distorted guitars come in. And they are just thick. I've got two different sounds going on with each guitar. So first of all, I've got this diesel amp. And I love that you can hear the attack. He's using a PRS guitar from memory. Could be wrong there. And on the right channel here is Presonus plugin called Empire, and it's a Fender emulation. And that one's a bit thicker. There's not as much attack on it, but together they sound like this. And when you use a similar sound on stereo guitars, you get so much width out of them. I try and EQ them similarly so that they sit in the same space, but it just makes things really wide. So when they come in here for the end of the song, it just kind of explodes. Have a listen. And it will hurt as I'll be looking your way for the last time. Just adds so much weight and body to the song. I love it. Also just wanted to show off some of Cammi's amazing vocals in this song. This pre-chorus, this second pre-chorus going into the second chorus is just stacked with vocals, and it's so cool. So I'd love to play you this a cappella of all of the vocals in the pre-chorus.
And you'll be there with a big smile on your face. I know you left hurt, but you were wrong. I fell apart in your arms, but now there's nothing to say. Yeah.
Huge. It's just beautiful. And on this lead vocal track, I've actually got quite a lot of saturation going on this plugin. This drive knob here, I've shown this plugin so many times on, because it's just such a sick channel strip. But the drive module is fucking awesome. You just add something to the vocal to give it so much life and character. And in a song like this, it's really quite emotionally charged. It just really adds something, I think. So, yeah, fantastic stuff.